everyone, this is Winji here. Welcome to the third part of my diet tip series. This week I'm going to be going through something that I find really interesting, and that is the diet secrets of Asia. Japanese women in particular are very well known for their diets to keep them slim. I think there was a book written about it, about Japanese diet tips and tricks. In countries like Japan, it's incredibly important to stay slim. Companies actually have policies where they will measure your waistline every year, and if you are over a certain healthy waistline, they actually put you on a sort of like probation program and I guess help you get your diet on track and find out why you're becoming like overweight. I guess it's a way for the government to combat like higher health costs later on from obesity. I've noticed every time I go back to Japan, especially when I went in uni, everyone was really slim. I don't think I saw a single overweight person like on the train. There was like none. I was so surprised. I was like, what? Like, how can everyone just be really skinny? And I think the women are not afraid to tell each other when they're overweight. Like, I know here it's kind of like if someone is a bit overweight, you don't want to be rude and you don't want to tell them, hey, you're overweight. But apparently in Japan, they just go, you're overweight, do something about it. So I think they're very open there and the culture is very different. But I realized like recently going back to Japan, I go almost like every year. I love that place. But I found that there were a few more overweight people in Japan, probably because I guess the food is becoming more processed, more westernized. There's a lot more fast food. I think people are going away from their traditional diets and culture, which kept them quite slim. What I've just told you about Japan is sort of my experience and what I saw when I was there. My best friend's also Japanese and she's very slim, and naturally so. I think she was just brought up in a way, in a culture that promoted sort of healthy eating habits and not overeating, and I guess just emphasized being slim. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 10 things that Asians do that keep them slim. So the first tip is to drink green tea, and just tea in general. There are so many benefits that green tea have that's beyond just losing weight. I mean, it's full of antioxidants. It increases your metabolism. A faster metabolism allows you to burn more calories, and it keeps, I guess, it's just like keeping your engine running efficiently. Drinking green tea can actually burn an extra 70 to 80 calories per day. And not only that, it can help keep you young because it has a lot of antioxidants that, keep the wrinkles from coming. You can get green tea in a variety of forms as well, like you can get it in a tea bag, tea leaves, or I got this really cool green tea from the market. It's called the Jasmine Pearl Green Tea. It smells really nice. There's all different types of green tea. They come in little balls. It's so cute. And you just put it in a teapot and drink it. So the best water temperature to actually brew green tea is, I think it's about 98 degrees. So don't just put straight boiling water in it. Just let it cool down for like a minute or two before you pour it into your tea leaves or tea bag. There are other types of tea that are really good for you as well. This is called bole, like that's what we say in Chinese. It's pronounced P-U-E-R-H-T. I found this in a Chinese supermarket. It's got a really strong taste. If you don't like strong tea, this is probably not for you. I'd stick to green tea. This is also known to help you lose weight. I think it's the taste. I know that green tea actually has this slightly bitter taste and it helps curb your appetite and your sweet tooth at times. The other type of tea that you can get, like if you are not a hot beverage fan, you can buy these packets at Daiso or probably Japanese supermarkets, but it's actually tea for like a big jug or a big bottle, like a 1 liter bottle that you can just put in the fridge. Whenever I went over to my best friend's house, she would always have like a jug of this like chilled in like the fridge. It's perfect for summer. She usually has oolong tea. This is barley tea and it's got a black soybean flavor. But you can get barley tea as well, or oolong, or sort of jasmine tea. And what you do is you get a big jug like that you normally put cordial in, or you get a big bottle and you sort of brew the tea in the bottle and then chuck it in the fridge. And anytime that you need to drink cold water or a cold drink, instead of reaching for the juice or the soft drink, you actually just pour the tea. Tea is really nice. If you want a bit of sweet taste to it, you can just add a bit of honey when you brew it and then chuck it in the fridge. You can probably buy bottles of it as well in the Asian supermarkets. They have big 2-litre, 1-litre bottles of tea that you can just chuck in the fridge. But sometimes if you want it fresh and less manufactured, you can just buy these tea bags, or you can just get, you know, a couple of your green tea bags and just put a few more and chuck it in and brew it and chuck it in the fridge. It's the perfect, I guess, way to kind of keep off soft drinks and sugary drinks. The best times to drink tea is before a meal, during a meal, and after a meal. I mean, you can drink tea the whole time. I usually drink tea in the morning as well, and then with my lunch, and then with my dinner. My best friend always said that her mom gave her a cup of tea to drink with her dinner or before her dinner. And that's really smart, because I think that if you drink tea before dinner, it actually keeps you a bit full so you don't overeat. So you've already got something in your stomach, so you're not completely hungry and starving when you eat. And also drinking tea after dinner will really help curb your appetite from too many sweets. The taste of the tea really helps settle some cravings. You know, after I drink tea, that I'm less likely to crave unhealthy food. It's also really nice to have with maybe just a small sweet, like instead of having like a full-blown cake or dessert or ice cream, you have like a small sweet with tea, and that's really, really nice for dessert. The Asian tip number 2 is to always have soup with your meal. So I'm not sure if you guys had Asian soup before, but Asian soup, especially Chinese soup, is made out of pork bones, chicken feet, or chicken broth. The best thing about these kind of soups is it's super cheap to make, because bones are just like $2 a kilo, $3 a kilo where I get them. You can probably even get them free from the butcher if they're sort of getting rid of it. And all you need to do is seriously wash it, chuck it in a pot, bring it to the boil. And when the bones, like pork bones or beef bones, first come to boil, there's a lot of like brown stuff, so you just tip it all out, scrub it, wash it, chuck it back in, and then pour water onto it again and reboil it from there. Add, you know, carrots, add corn, add like dates to sweeten up the flavor, and whatever you want really. And after a few hours, your broth is ready. It's really, really good for you. It's got a lot of minerals in it from the bone. You can add a bit of vinegar or apple cider. The acidity really brings out all the nice minerals from the bone. It's just really great to have sort of before or after dinner. When I was growing up, every weekend we'd have soup with our meal. And I guess if you had a stay-at-home mum, you probably had soup every meal if you're in like a traditional Chinese family. My mum worked, so the only time she had to make soup was on the weekend. I was having this conversation with my friend the other day. You know, different Chinese people have soup at different times. You either have it before dinner or you have it after dinner. Some families have it before, some families have it after. In the restaurants, they serve it to you before. And the sweet soup is served up. The good thing about this soup is not only is it super good for you, it also actually helps you, like the green tea, fill you up a little bit before you start your meal, before you start eating rice and before you start, you know, eating your main meal. So having like a bowl of soup with your meal or before your meal is good, because it keeps you full. And if you eat slow enough, you'd actually feel full and eat less food. And also the liquid soaking in your actual food. I'm not sure if you noticed, but when you eat like noodle soup, and then sometimes if you eat too quickly and then you drink the soup, and then it just expands your stomach because the noodles soak it up and just expand and you feel terrible. But yeah, Japanese people have miso soup with their meals, so it really depends. If it's too hard to make bone soup, you can also just drink miso soup as well. They come in packets these days. The only thing about miso soup is it might be very high in sodium, which isn't good for you in the long run. So maybe make your own miso soup with a little bit less salt. I currently actually make bone soup once a week, and I just make this huge pot and I put it in the fridge and I just drink it whenever I can. It's really good for your skin as well, especially if you put things like chicken feet. I know it might sound disgusting, but it has a lot of collagen. Things with a lot of collagen really makes your skin nice, so I've been trying to include more collagen into my diet. The third Asian diet tip is actually to eat more vegetables. I'm not sure if you noticed, but when you look at Japanese cuisine, Chinese cuisine, and also Korean cuisine even, it's very low in meat and very high in vegetable. A traditional Korean family diet is mainly made up of rice and vegetables. Not that much meat. My family only had like a small cut of meat, and usually you chop it and slice it up and include it with the veggies, and that would be kind of like your meat. Or maybe you have like a one meat dish and then like 3 vegetable dishes, but we would always have a vegetable dish. Like there will not be one day where we don't have vegetables. Vegetables and rice was like a staple, and I think that really helped keep me slim, because vegetables are actually very good for you and they're very low in calories. Low calorie vegetables that are very predominant in Asian cuisine, like cabbage. I know Japanese people have a lot of cabbage, so do Korean people. I mean, Chinese greens are very low in calories and very good for you. Lettuce is even good, because like lettuce is only really water. You can eat as much lettuce as you want, and my favorite thing to do with lettuce is actually to put it in like a hot pot. Hot pot lettuce is the best. Other low calorie vegetables that are really predominant in the Asian diet is radish as well. Japanese people eat a lot of radish, and radish is included in various dishes. As long as you eat more vegetables, not starchy vegetables like potato, but just like leafy greens and spinach. Spinach is so good for you, and those kind of things. Like, I don't think you'll ever gain weight if you just replaced a large portion of your diet with those kind of vegetables. Even things like, I know a lot of K-pop stars actually, instead of eating like lunch, they have like a steamed sweet potato. They're like super good for you, and they're really filling. So if you ever feel like a snack or something during the day, like why not think of like, you know, roasting or steaming some corn or sweet potato, or like, I don't know, steaming some vegetables as a snack, because I've done that before. I like savory snacks, so like it does take a little bit more effort, but you're more likely to stick to your diet. Steaming your vegetables or stir frying it with a little bit of oil keeps the calories down as well. Asian tip number 4, how you use utensils. So let's compare how we normally eat food. Let's say a spoon or a fork, right? How much food do you fit in your mouth with that? Compare that to eating with chopsticks. Not only does chopsticks make it that much more difficult to eat a lot of food in a short period of time, if you don't actually know how to use chopsticks, it might even be a celebratory moment to even get food into your mouth. So using chopsticks to eat actually makes you eat a lot slower, like if you pick up your food slowly, and also you pick up less food each time, because when I ate with chopsticks, like how we eat in China with like our family is like all the dishes are placed in the middle. You have your bowl of rice and you have your chopstick, and then you just grab food, put it into your bowl, and then you eat it. So it's not like you are served with a huge plate of food that you have to finish. You just take what you want, and because you're taking one at a time or one piece at a time, it's like it really controls how fast you eat, because your stomach takes about 10 minutes for it to realize that it's actually full. Eating slower means you eat less in the long run, and you don't overstuff yourself. So eating like this, maybe you should try like serving the dishes separate to like your bread or your rice, and only take enough to finish your bowl of rice or something. You find that you will eat a lot less, and you'll feel less obliged to finish everything on your plate. And you might find that, you know, you don't actually need as much like meat and stuff to finish your rice. You might eat less, and you can take more vegetables and things like that. But eating like this will mean that you eat a lot slower. Although I have seen some really pro chopstick users like just like shovel it into their mouth. Don't do that. Asian tip number 5. I covered this in my last week's video. In Japanese culture, there's an old saying that they say, which is hara hachibu. And that just means eat till you're 8/10 full. And that's eat till you're 80% full. And that's something that's been passed down generation upon generation. It's a really good habit to get into, because overstuffing yourself is actually not good for you, because you're forcing your stomach to work really hard to digest, and you don't actually need that much food. You just need enough food to keep you going for the day, and make sure that you eat enough nutrition to keep you nourished. Hara hachibu comes from a Confucian teachings, and yeah, I guess the culture really picked up on it. In fact, I think in Japan, eating like a pig or eating too much is actually looked down upon. It's like, why do you need to eat so much? You're such a pig. So I guess it's a good thing when you know you're stuffing your face, instead of people encouraging you to do it, like it's kind of like, well, why are you eating so much? But with that being said, I think Japanese people have this weird obsession with eating competitions. I know there's like this girl in Japan, she only weighs 45 kilos, super small, and I saw her eat 7 kilos of rice and curry. That is crazy. But yeah, eat till you're 80% full. Tip number 6 is switch from white rice to brown rice, and you just chuck it in this and then you steam it and you eat it from this. It really, I find that eating fish is actually better for you because it's high in sort of like fish oil, which is really good for you, omega-3. Like if you go to the convenience store in Japan, you can sort of buy the stuff and you can eat it for breakfast. And it's good for you, and it's made out of something called